The cold steel corridors of Titan Station rang with the steady cadence of boots as Commander Jake Harrison made his way toward the communications center. The massive installation orbited Saturn's largest moon, serving as humanity's most distant military outpost. Beyond it stretched the silent gulf of space that marked the border between human-controlled systems and the wider galaxy. Harrison had served here for 3 years, accustomed to the routine of patrols and supply convoys. But today felt different. For the past hour, the emergency beacon had been flashing red, and his communications officer, Lisa Murphy, had contacted him with urgent news of an incoming signal from the Galactic Council. Such direct contact was rare. Most dealings passed through trade envoys or neutral stations. For them to reach out to a military commander meant the matter was grave. Entering the communications hub, Harrison saw Captain Lisa Murphy waiting beside the main display. Tall, with short brown hair and keen green eyes, her gaze seemed to miss nothing. Her uniform remained crisp despite 12 hours on duty. "Report, Murphy," Harrison said as he approached. "Sir, we received a priority message from Council Speaker Zarthel himself about 20 minutes ago. It's marked urgent and demands an immediate Earth Defense Force reply," she answered, pulling up the data. Harrison's frown deepened. Zarthel was among the galaxy's most influential figures, the voice of the Council, and his crystalline species had maintained order for millennia. A direct address to a human military post meant something had gone seriously wrong. "Play it," Harrison ordered. The screen came alive with the image of an alien formed from living crystal, its surface shifting in geometric patterns of changing color. Its voice radiated authority, born of centuries in leadership. "Commander Harrison of the Earth Defense Force, I am Council Speaker Zarthel, addressing you on behalf of the United Species. We have received alarming reports of 3 separate incursions into human space, resulting in the complete disappearance of vessels from 3 different civilizations." Harrison and Murphy exchanged uneasy looks. No patrol logs mentioned missing alien craft. For 6 months, all reports had been uneventful. Zarthel continued. "The first case concerns a Korak Empire fleet of 12 warships under War Commander Throcknall, last seen entering your Kepler 4042 system 3 months ago. The Korak High Command demands an explanation." Murphy checked the Kepler 442 patrol records. Only mining and routine sweeps were noted, with no foreign contact. "The second case," Zarthel said, "involves a refugee convoy from the Helix sector. Around 50,000 Salari civilians fleeing the Devourer swarm. They entered your Wolf 359 system 2 weeks later. While some survivors reached neutral space, most remain missing." Harrison's jaw tightened. Civilians meant diplomacy could turn volatile. "The third case," the crystal being said, "concerns the Celestial Wanderer's research vessel Seeker of Truth, last near your Sol system. It detected strange quantum readings before vanishing." Zarthel's facets glowed more brightly. "Commander, these disappearances cannot be ignored. The Council demands full explanation and immediate return of survivors." Harrison's stomach sank. 3 missing fleets could spark war. "If we do not receive satisfactory answers within 10 standard galactic days," Zarthel warned, "sanctions will follow. Trade suspended, human ships barred from neutral ports. Humanity relied heavily on such trade for resources and technology. We recognize these may have been unauthorized incursions," the alien continued, "but the total loss without distress calls is troubling. Transparency and accountability are required." As the transmission faded, Zarthel's final words lingered. "You have 10 days to present your report before the Council on Concordia Prime. The galaxy is watching. Choose wisely. Your species' future may depend on it." The transmission cut off, leaving Harrison and Murphy staring at the now dark display. The quiet in the communications center felt weighted with the threat of what might come. "Sir, your orders?" Murphy asked softly. Harrison rubbed his forehead, trying to absorb the scale of what they'd heard. 3 fleets lost in human space likely meant the automated defense network had been triggered. Those systems were built to defend humanity's borders without hesitation, making no distinction between warships and civilian craft. Open me a secure link to Earth Command, directly to Admiral Collins and the Defense Council. They need to hear this immediately, Harrison ordered. Murphy began working to establish the encrypted channel. Sir, do you think our defense systems really destroyed 3 whole fleets without word reaching us? She asked. Harrison considered. The outer defense arrays operated outside standard military channels to ensure security. They could engage and neutralize intrusions without commander approval. Incidents might have unfolded without Titan Station being informed. It's possible, Murphy. Our protocols are decisive. Any ship that crossed into human territory without clearance and ignored warnings would be treated as hostile. The secure feed opened, revealing Admiral Collins, an older man with silver hair and weary eyes, veteran of a decade managing galactic diplomacy. Commander Harrison, I expected your call. The Council's message reached us an hour ago. This situation is more complicated than they suggest, Collins said grimly. Harrison felt a measure of relief that Earth Command was already engaged. Sir, what really happened to those fleets? Collins hesitated before replying. Commander, what I'm about to tell you is top-level classified. The incidents occurred and were addressed under established protocols. The issue is, our defenses work far better than the galaxy understands. The truth was beginning to surface, and Harrison sensed it was more than a matter of border violations. The next 10 days would decide whether humanity stayed within the galactic fold or was cast into isolation. 3 months earlier, Captain Ryan Foster stood on New Denver Mining Station's observation deck, watching the asteroid fields of Kepler 442 drift beyond reinforced glass. The station had been his home for 2 years, and he took pride in the smooth operations his crew maintained. Output was high, and workers were content with their distant assignments. Foster was reviewing production figures when Lieutenant Amy Chen rushed in, her face pale, hands trembling around a datapad. Captain, we've got a problem. Long-range sensors show 12 large vessels entering from the outer system. They dropped out of hyperspace. ETA 4 hours, she said breathlessly. Foster set down his coffee and stepped to the tactical display. 12 red markers advanced in tight formation. The computer analysis tagged them as far larger than any human craft, with energy signatures matching no known allies. Are they responding to our standard identification requests? Foster asked, studying the tight formation on the display. No, sir. We've been broadcasting nonstop for 20 minutes on all frequencies, but there's been no acknowledgement. The computer can't match their designs, but the energy signatures point to heavy weapons and military-grade shielding, Chen replied. Foster felt a knot tighten in his stomach. New Denver was a civilian mining hub with only minimal defenses, basic shields and a handful of patrol craft, hardly enough to deter a fleet of warships. If these vessels came with hostile intent, the station's 3,000 workers would be defenseless. Activate First Contact Protocol. Send automated messages in all galactic languages and prep the diplomatic packages. If they're unaware of human borders, we give them every chance to avoid an incident, Foster ordered. Chen nodded, fingers flying over her console. Humanity's first contact procedure, refined over decades, always began with peaceful diplomacy, escalating only if the newcomers demonstrated aggression. Automated broadcasts went out in 847 known galactic languages, identifying Kepler 442 as human-controlled space and offering safe escort to neutral territory for formal talks. The transmissions included star maps marking humanity's borders and official diplomatic contact points. Foster's eyes stayed on the tactical display, hoping the incoming formation would slow or veer away in acknowledgement. Instead, the 12 ships kept their course and speed. Sir, I'm adding a personal message to the automated feed, Chen said, adjusting her comm array. Foster gave a curt nod. Personal outreach often succeeded where standard protocol failed. Chen was skilled in alien dialects and cultural nuance. Unknown vessels. This is Lieutenant Amy Chen of New Denver Mining Station. You are entering sovereign human space in the Kepler 442 system. While we welcome peaceful contact with all galactic peoples, military incursions cannot be tolerated. Identify yourselves and state your purpose. We can guide you to neutral space, where diplomatic talks can proceed safely. Her calm, precise voice carried across multiple bands in several common languages. Foster silently hoped the commander on the other side would appreciate her reasonable tone. 30 minutes passed. No reply. The alien ships drew closer, and long-range scans provided clearer detail: massive armor plating, heavy weapons arrays, unmistakable warship silhouettes. "Captain, the computer has identified them," Chen said, her tone tense. "They're Korak Empire vessels, 12 in total, including the flagship Bone Crusher, under War Commander Throcknall." Foster swore, under his breath. The Korak were infamous for ruthless expansionism and brutal military doctrine, a civilization that valued raw force above all and seldom wasted effort on diplomatic niceties when they wanted something. If the Korak had decided to dispute human, territorial claims, matters could escalate fast. "Any reply to our messages?" Foster asked, though he already knew the answer. "None, sir. They're ignoring us completely. At current speed, they'll be in weapons range in 2 hours," Chen said grimly. Foster initiated Phase 2 of First Contact Protocol, displaying human defensive capability while keeping a non-hostile stance. "Get Lieutenant Commander Steve Parker. 3 patrol craft will meet the Korak fleet. Perform standard demonstration. Maneuvers, safe distance, no hostile moves unless fired upon," he ordered. Parker, a veteran pilot with both military and civilian expertise, was ideal for showing skill without provoking conflict. On the display, 3 small patrol ships launched and sped toward the massive alien fleet. Though dwarfed in size, their precision and agility showcased human technology and training. Parker led them through complex maneuvers around the Korak formation, proof humanity could not be taken lightly. Foster hoped this would deter aggression, as had happened in past encounters, but instead of slowing, the Korak vessels powered up. Weapons. Energy spikes lit every ship, plasma cannons and missile batteries priming for battle. Military scans swept over the station and patrol craft, searching for weaknesses. "Sir, they've locked weapons on our ships and the station," Chen said, her voice tight with panic. Diplomacy had failed. The Korak had ignored peaceful overtures and were targeting civilians. Under galactic law, humanity could respond to unprovoked attack. "Send final warning. Continued aggression will trigger our automated defenses. One last chance to withdraw," Foster ordered. Chen sent the warning, but the answer came instantly. The Bone Crusher fired, vaporizing Parker's craft. The other, 2 barely escaped as the entire Korak fleet opened fire on the station and any human vessel in range. Rage and grief hit Foster. They'd been offered peace and had chosen violence. "Activate final phase of First Contact Protocol. Authorization Foster Alpha 779. All hands to emergency stations." Chen entered codes to unleash humanity's most secret defense systems, built in hidden projects over decades, absolute measures for absolute threats. Any attacker who ignored peaceful offers would be annihilated. Deep space sensors locked every Korak vessel, quantum computers computing perfect firing solutions. Ironically, the Korak scans had aided targeting. War Commander Throcknall was about to learn why no one entered human space uninvited and survived. Commander Alex Rodriguez was drinking morning coffee aboard the patrol ship Guardian when alarms blared. On routine Wolf 359 border patrol, sensors detected multiple contacts inbound from deep space. He hurried to the bridge where Lieutenant Ben Carter was buried in data, concern on his face. "Sir, we've got at least 40 vessels incoming," No, military formation. Most are civilian, several badly damaged, Carter reported. The tactical screen showed scattered red contacts, struggling to maintain course, some with hull breaches and failing power. Any ID signals or distress calls? Rodriguez asked. Yes, but the language is unknown. No match in our database. The computer's trying to decode, but it'll take time, Carter replied. They were clearly refugees from some catastrophe, but unauthorized entry meant a potential security threat. Get Captain Michelle Davis at Frontier Watch, Rodriguez ordered. Minutes later, Davis, stern, gray-haired, with 15 years of border command, appeared. Report, she said. 40 unknown ships inbound to Wolf 359, likely refugees but no communication, several critically damaged, Rodriguez explained. Reviewing his sensor feed, Davis saw civilian ships with families aboard, yet their presence was a legal and diplomatic challenge. Contact the lead vessel. Use universal translation protocols. Find out their intentions and origin, she ordered. Rodriguez turned to Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell, a gifted linguist fresh from the academy. Broadcast on all emergency frequencies. Standard first contact. Try to open dialogue. Mitchell transmitted mathematical sequences and pictograms designed for universal comprehension. After 30 minutes, the refugee fleet finally responded, though the signal was faint and crackled with static. The universal translation algorithms slowly began untangling the alien speech. Fragmented words appeared on the comm screen, gradually forming coherent phrases. Partial translation coming through, sir, Mitchell said. They call themselves the Solari, fleeing from something called the Devourer Swarm. Their homeworld's gone. They've been drifting for months, searching for safety. Rodriguez felt both sympathy and unease. The Solari had entered human space without clearance, risking activation of automated defenses that couldn't tell invaders from civilians. Mitchell, inform them they're in human territory. We want to help, but they must follow our exact instructions, Rodriguez ordered. Any deviation could trigger defense systems beyond our control. The message was sent. Minutes later, a reply came, clearer now, layered with fear and desperation. Commander, Mitchell relayed, the lead vessel is commanded by Matriarch Valandra. She says her people are dying, supplies almost gone, several ships without life support. She's begging for aid. The sensors confirmed it. Many ships were failing, families dying as he weighed the legalities. Sometimes doing what was right meant breaking protocol. Get me Dr. Kevin Wright on the medical station. If we're helping, we start now. Within moments, Wright's face appeared, compassion in his eyes. He had volunteered for border duty. To handle crises like this, his team trained for alien biology emergencies. We have a refugee fleet with critical cases, Rodriguez explained, requesting clearance to provide immediate aid while legal matters are sorted. Wright didn't hesitate. Send me their medical data. My teams will be ready within the hour. Politics waits when lives are at stake. Rodriguez turned back to Mitchell. Tell Valandra medical help is coming, but her ships must stay put. Any approach toward human facilities will trigger automated retaliation. The Salary responded with gratitude and urgent medical details. Wright's teams began assembling alien-compatible supplies and equipment. Captain Davis soon called with orders. Earth Command approves limited humanitarian aid, but no permanent settlement in human space. We'll find them a place elsewhere. Rodriguez understood. Humanity wanted to help, but sovereignty had to be preserved. Over the next hours, Wright's teams fought to save as many as possible. The Solari had endured months aboard failing ships. Malnutrition, disease, and collapse of life support had taken a brutal toll. Valandra proved a wise leader, grateful yet pragmatic. In negotiations, she offered something unexpected. Extensive intelligence on the Devourer Swarm, movement patterns, capabilities, vulnerabilities. In exchange for sanctuary and aid, and with an apology for violating human space, her people would share it. Rodriguez forwarded the data to Earth Command. Analysts confirmed its worth. The swarm threatened all civilizations, and such insight was priceless. The resolution came from Davis. The Solari would receive supplies and help to build a colony in neutral space, just outside human borders. In return, they'd share their data and act as early warning observers. Not all lived to see the new home. Despite Wright's efforts, dozens perished from illness and injury. Their loss would be honored as the price for freedom. The crisis ended with humanity, demonstrating both resolve and empathy. The Solari became trusted allies, gaining a new respect for human territorial sovereignty. Yet the event also underscored how swiftly humanitarian missions could shift into security crises amid the tangled politics of the galaxy. Rodriguez observed the final refugee transport vanish into neutral space, aware that humanity would face many more such hard choices between safety and mercy. Lieutenant Colonel Danny Mitchell oversaw the solar system's inner defense grid from Luna Base when quantum anomaly sensors began registering irregular patterns. These advanced instruments could detect cloaked craft and dimensional disturbances, but the data didn't align with any known technology profiles. In 4 years commanding Earth's defenses, Mitchell had never encountered readings like this. The quantum signature implied space-time itself was warping in ways that defied several core physical laws. Either the system had failed, or something highly advanced was near Earth. Sergeant Williams, run a complete diagnostic on the quantum detection array. These figures defy our current physics models, Mitchell ordered. Williams, a gifted engineer responsible for the most sensitive detection systems in human territory, was the best person to investigate. He worked in silence for several minutes, before glancing up, his face tight with confusion. Sir, the array is fully operational. All diagnostics are reading green. The anomalies are real, quantum distortions matching advanced cloaking tech, but the mathematical patterns don't resemble anything in our archives, he reported. A cold unease settled over Mitchell. If cloaked ships from an unknown source were in the solar system, it meant a severe security breach. The inner system housed Earth's most critical research centers and military hubs. Any reconnaissance here could erode humanity's strategic edge. Get in touch with Dr. Sharon Bell at the Physics Research Station. If this is new tech, she's the one who can break it down, Mitchell said. Dr. Bell was Earth's foremost authority in humanity's response, walked the razor edge between power and mercy. The Solari became trusted allies, gaining a new respect for human territorial limits. Yet the crisis proved how quickly humanitarian aid could transform into a security risk within the tangled politics of galactic civilization. Rodriguez stood on the observation deck as the final refugee ship slipped into neutral space, fully aware this would not be the last time Earth faced the agonizing balance between protection and compassion. On Luna Base, Lieutenant Colonel Danny Mitchell monitored the inner defense grid when quantum anomaly alarms began lighting his console. The high-grade sensors were engineered to catch cloaked craft and dimensional ripples, yet the patterns now appearing matched no known hostile technology. 4 years of overseeing Earth's defense had never produced readings this bizarre. The data implied space-time itself was bending in ways that shredded fundamental physics. Either the system was faulty, or something truly advanced was operating, close to home. Sergeant Williams, run a full diagnostic on the detection array, Mitchell ordered. Williams, a brilliant engineer trusted with humanity's most classified sensor tech, worked in silence before looking up, brow furrowed. Sir, the system's perfect. Diagnostics are green. These are genuine quantum distortions. Advanced cloaking. But with math unlike anything we've seen. A chill ran through Mitchell. If unknown vessels could ghost undetected through the inner system, they could gather intelligence on Earth's most guarded installations. Contact Dr. Sharon Bell at the physics station, Mitchell said. If anyone could interpret this, it was her. Dr. Bell's lab brimmed with experimental instruments, probing the edges of known science. "What kind of readings?" she asked, scanning the incoming data. Mitchell explained the strange signatures and complete lack of visual contact. Bell's gaze sharpened. "Colonel, this is quantum phase shifting, far beyond us. They're slightly outside normal space-time, invisible to conventional sensors." Mitchell's mind raced. Such technology could nullify Earth's defenses. "Can you devise a way to track them?" Bell's eyes lit with challenge. "Give me 2 hours and access to the quantum resonance rig. I can build a pulse to reveal anything hiding in phase space." While she worked, Mitchell placed the system on high alert. Patrols shifted to cover vulnerable zones. Jupiter's radiation storm was at peak, masking scans but perfect for concealment. Whoever was out there knew human patrol cycles. 2 hours. Later, Bell's voice came through. "Scanners ready. Pulse will sweep from Luna and light up anything in dimensional space." Mitchell authorized it. A deep, harmonic thrum shivered through Luna base as exotic particles burst outward. Readings spiked. Results came instantly. A single massive ship, concealed behind Jupiter exactly as suspected. Its sleek, exploration-oriented design hinted at a science-driven species, not a warlike one. "Sir, positive contact, 2 kilometers long in Jupiter's shadow. No match for any hostile design, but..." "It's definitely not human," Williams confirmed. Mitchell felt a brief relief at finding only a single ship, but unease gnawed at him over how long it might have been spying. From its position, the vessel could watch much of the inner solar system, including the lunar manufacturing complexes, where Earth's most advanced weapons were built. "Launch Interceptor Squadron Alpha under Commander Nick Adams," Mitchell ordered. "Surround that ship before it escapes or transmits anything." It's gathered. Commander Adams, one of humanity's top pilots, led a squadron of 12 cutting-edge interceptors armed with weapons capable of striking through dimensional space and powered by engines surpassing known limits. The squadron launched from Luna, base with orders to encircle the alien craft, engaging only if attacked. Mitchell hoped this show of force would prompt surrender without escalating into war. The alien ship, the Seeker of Truths, was commanded by Navigator Prime Quelterra of the Celestial Wanderers, a nomadic people of scientists and explorers roaming the galaxy in pursuit of knowledge. They had detected anomalous quantum readings from Sul suggesting humanity had breached fundamental physical laws. Unable to resist, they entered restricted space to investigate. When Adams's interceptors materialized around the Seeker of Truths, Quelterra realized humanity's detection abilities exceeded anything known in the galaxy. The human craft appeared instantaneously, as if unbound by normal space-time. "Human vessels, this is Navigator Prime Quelterra of the Celestial Wanderers. We are peaceful scientists, here only to investigate unusual quantum phenomena." "We mean no harm," came the transmission. Adams acknowledged, but stayed with his orders. The vessel had trespassed in human space and spied on classified sites. Whatever their claims, they had seen too much. "Alien vessel, you have violated our territory and conducted illegal reconnaissance. Surrender for inspection or face the consequences," Adams replied. Quelterra, caught in a dilemma, realized. His curiosity had brought his people into conflict with a civilization wielding reality-bending technology. The human craft surrounding him represented a leap that could transform travel and weaponry across the galaxy. He attempted to negotiate. "Commander Adams, we propose an exchange, our scientific knowledge for insight into your quantum manipulation. Both our peoples could benefit greatly." Yet Quelterra had already witnessed far too many of humanity's most closely guarded military secrets. The automated defense grid that had detected his cloaked vessel, along with the interceptors, that had materialized instantly around it, represented capabilities capable of shattering the current galactic balance of power. The standoff concluded with a compromise that satisfied no party, yet averted a far wider conflict. The Wanderers consented to have all memories of human technology selectively removed through advanced neural editing methods in exchange for their survival and the right to leave human-controlled space. Quara and his crew endured the procedure, stripping them of every detail they had learned in the Sol system. They departed with implanted recollections of mechanical failures that had rendered them incapable of gathering valuable data on their reconnaissance run. The matter ended with both sides resentful, but alive. Humanity's technological secrecy was preserved, and the Wanderers kept their lives. Meanwhile, Admiral Jake Harrison stood within the vast amphitheater of Concordia Prime, surrounded by hundreds of alien delegates from every major power in the galaxy. The neutral station served as the Galactic Council's seat and had witnessed uncountable diplomatic sessions over the ages. Today, however, carried an unusual tension, as envoys from across known space had convened to hear humanity's defense concerning 3 separate disappearances of foreign fleets. Harrison wore full-dress uniform, the insignia of the Earth Defense, force bright upon his chest. At his back were Captain Lisa Murphy and Dr. Kevin Wright, providing both technical and diplomatic assistance for what would be the most consequential hearing in human history. The outcome in this chamber would shape the future of humanity's place among the stars. Council Speaker Zathol rose from his crystalline throne at the amphitheater's heart. His ancient bearing commanded silence as his voice carried through the hall with the gravity of millennia of authority. Admiral Harrison, you stand before this body to account for the disappearance of 3 fleets that entered your territory in the past 6 months. The Korak Empire reports 12 warships and their crews gone. The Solari refugee fleet suffered severe casualties within your borders. The Celestial Wanderers claim total memory erasure regarding their scientific expedition, Zarthul declared. Harrison felt hundreds of alien gazes pressing upon him as he prepared humanity's defense. The chamber was filled with civilizations that had enjoyed millennia of peace under council order, many of whom regarded humans as disruptive newcomers. Council Speaker Wati, humanity values its duties as part of galactic society, and we are ready to offer full clarity on these matters, Harrison began. Activating a holographic display, he projected detailed recordings of each incident. The first showed the Korak fleet nearing New Denver mining station alongside the diplomatic. Transmissions sent to them. The footage made it clear humanity had sought peaceful dialogue before the aliens chose. Vandra had endured the refugee crisis and now served as the leader of her people's new settlement. Her testimony would play a decisive role in judging whether humanity had acted justly during that humanitarian crisis. Council Speaker, I speak for all Solari when I say humanity displayed both strength and compassion in our darkest hour. They could have destroyed our fleet for trespassing in their territory, but instead they gave medical assistance and helped us find a new home. We are grateful for their aid and honored to call them allies, she declared. Her words rippled through the amphitheater as delegates realized the refugees themselves defended humanity's conduct. The Solari statement provided essential perspective and proved that humans had balanced security needs with humanitarian duty. The final case, involving the Celestial Wanderers, proved most contentious. Navigator Prime Quelther rose to speak, but his memory of the incident had been deliberately erased. He could only state that his research mission had failed due to technical malfunctions. Admiral Harrison, the Wanderers report total loss of scientific data despite fielding the most advanced research tools in known space. Their amnesia implies neural modification technology, raising serious concerns about human abilities, Zarthol noted. Harrison understood this moment would decide whether humanity was seen as a rational neighbor or a looming threat. The truth was that human advancements exceeded most galactic expectations, and revealing too much could shatter the delicate balance of power. Council Speaker, the Celestial Wanderers infiltrated our most secure defense zones. Using cloaking systems, they observed classified arrays safeguarding not only human holdings, but galactic stability itself. Memory modification ensured that this information could not spread, while allowing them to depart unharmed, Harrison explained evenly. The admission sent a murmur of alarm through the chamber. Many had assumed humanity's technology was modest. Despite their swift territorial growth, the hint that it surpassed galactic norms sparked both fear and intrigue. Harrison then brought up a final hologram, presenting the larger context of human defenses. Deep-range sensors had detected vast armadas inbound from the Andromeda galaxy. Dangers existed beyond the familiar powers, dangers that required formidable safeguards. Council members, our defensive systems are built to shield all civilizations from threats outside this galaxy. Our borders protect not only humanity, but prevent destabilizing technologies from spreading, Harrison said. Dr. Wright elaborated on the Andromeda danger and how human research aimed at guarding the entire galaxy, not solely human space. The automated networks seen as hostile were, in truth, part of a broader shield strategy. The council debated for hours before delivering its verdict. Zarthal declared that humanity's actions fell within galactic law and that their borders would be honored. Yet new diplomatic channels were created to avert future conflict. Harrison felt a wave of relief, knowing larger trials awaited. The Andromeda fleets would test human resolve and demand unity from species once wary of them. As the meeting adjourned, Earth Command's encrypted message reached him. Long-range scans showed the Andromeda Armada accelerating toward the galaxy. The real trial of human defenses would arrive far sooner than expected. Now the galaxy understood the cost of trespassing into human space. Soon they would discover why humanity had built such fearsome fortifications. The automated systems that had destroyed the Karak, aided the Solari, and neutralized the Wanderers were only the opening act of human power. Harrison's smile was grim as he set course for Earth. The galaxy had witnessed a fraction of humanity's might, but not yet.